This feature, Clare Women in Business, is funded by Comishún Naman with a television licence fee.
Welcome to this week's episode of Clare Women in Business on Clare FM. Helen Lowe was born in Ballisadaire in County Sligo. She went to school locally and then to university in Galway, where she studied mechanical engineering. After completing her studies, like for many people of her time, there were very few jobs in the area, so she travelled to Japan under a graduate programme. After about 5 years, she returned to Ireland to work and later changed career paths altogether. While she enjoyed art in school, it wasn't really something she thought about pursuing as a career. Now, Helen Lowe is a visual artist based in Quin, County Clare.
I was interested in art, but it wasn't really seen as an opportunity to continue as a career, and with the Leaving Cert it was kind of more mainstream opportunity, so that's why I ended up going into mechanical engineering. Art, I did it for the Leaving Cert, and I continued to do it for friends and family, their pet portraits, gifts for weddings, and I always had it on, always in the background, but it was never something that I considered doing as a full-time career. It was always just keep it as a hobby and keep working at the engineering, and that's where I continued in my career. 25 plus years I spent over in Japan. I came back then and worked in Molex in Shannon, and travelled then with Snap-on tools across the world, all over America, Europe. So that was a great opportunity with them. And then came back here and worked for a number of local businesses where I got redundancy. And that gave me the opportunity to start up my own business, small business, just selling prints at craft shows and craft fairs. And then that's when the business really took on. My sister then joined me, so she did all the framing work, all the hard work. So it's actually a credit to her that I couldn't have done it on my own. So having her on board has made a huge difference. And it's actually lovely being self-employed and having somebody else in the business to work with you and laugh with you, and also to help you out during the times that you're trying to figure out what to do next. So the framing is actually a big part of the business, because that's where you finish the product off. That's how you show it to the customers. And then within the Quin art shop here in Quin, we have a huge variety of ways we can finish the painting.
It was a case of circumstances within your work life that led you to believe that you could go into art on a full-time basis. Is that a huge decision to make, though?
It wasn't. I kind of fell into it. I kind of just started doing it. And the more I did it, the more people were asking me, saying, oh, you're actually doing this now full time. And I was saying, yeah. And then it led from one thing to the next. So all of a sudden then I was making prints, and the Cliffs of Moher asked me to create prints and canvases, and they sold it in their shop. And then Dromoland asked me to do their calendar for them. So that was a great opportunity. Lahinch Golf Club asked me to do the painting of their tees. So it just kind of just went on. And it was never an actual real decision. And again, I was always hesitant. I always felt, this is crazy. How could you make money at this, or this could be a real opportunity? But it has. I've got great support from the local community. I've got great neighbours who support me, and the village of Quin and the village of the town of Ennis has been great. Like even Sweet and Green, they sell my framed prints as well in the local community. So it's great having that kind of support and people buying the art, and that's what's important for presents or for Christmas. It's great. Yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Was it a case that you had the cushion of the redundancy payment to get you started? If you were still working in a job at the time, would you have made the break to do this?
No, not at all. It was actually that the redundancy comes up and you kind of think, oh, what are you really going to do now? And isn't it awful? But actually it was a silver lining really at the end of the day, and it was a great opportunity to then say, oh, I've got this bit of a cushion here now, I can then try this, see how it works. And as I say, it just kind of grew, and the fact of my sister supporting me on the framing side and doing all the hard work, it actually made life much easier, because when you're self-employed you need all the help you can get. It's really hard. You're doing the IT, you're doing the marketing, you're trying to do the business, you're trying to do the accounts. And so having somebody else that's a family member, and I think that's the same for most self-employed people, having a family member there to bounce things off or to help. Like I just finished up an exhibition in the RDS, it wouldn't have been possible if she wasn't able to come here 24/7 and start making the frames and helping me through. You know, when there's a big demand on, that's when you really need people to help you out.
It's one thing pursuing a hobby, something you love. You eventually realise that it's more than just a hobby, this could be a business, and then you go to a point where you have to find a space to work and actually set up a business and do all the paperwork that goes with that. Was that difficult?
It was difficult. I'd looked for leader funding and I'd looked for an awful lot of grants and I tried to get an awful lot of help from different local authorities, and but it just didn't seem to work. So at the end of the day, I just ended up converting the garage at the side of the house, and that's where my studio is, and I work from there. And then, as I say, I go out to different exhibitions. I go out to Ballyvaughan and I sell to the tourists and the customers, the Irish people that travel to beautiful Ballyvaughan. But actually making that decision was, it is hard to come back to it and see what you really want to do and how you're going to make this business work. It's different, one thing having it as a hobby. It's another thing actually making it work and looking at the bank account and seeing, does this work at the end of the day? It's lovely actually when somebody comes in and they buy a piece of art and go away and you go, God, this is the business, it's going to go for another couple of months. You just don't know. This is not something that every week I know I can make something and I'll sell 20 pieces of it. This is like I could make 40 pieces of art and only one piece will sell, and I don't know why it sells or what but people see something different in every piece of art, and whether it's a memory of their grandfather sitting on a bike or it's a memory of the kids on a boat on a strand, that's what they want. They want something that brings back those lovely memories. So a lot of people will come in and they'd say, I want a memory of my granddad in front of the house, but the house doesn't exist anymore. So I'd go and find an old cottage in the burn. I'd put the granddad then in front of it. We do a number of sketches. I talk to the customer, and then that's it. When you hand it over, when it's finished, when it's painted, and you can see them getting upset because this is the memory that they've been looking for. It's actually lovely. That to me then, makes all the difference. It's actually kind of go, oh yeah, this is nice. This is actually a lovely job. This is nice. There was another lady, she wanted a cherry blossom in front of the sea. And she was saying, it doesn't make any sense, Helen, but this is what I have. This is what I'm dreaming about. I'd like you to do it. And then to be able to get it visualised and put it on canvas and give it to them, that's actually it's a great job because, there's no pressure, no stress in it, and the people I deal with are lovely, but they've something in their mind that they want on canvas, or they want to give a gift of a print as a going away present to a colleague that they've worked with for 20 years. And again, that's an absolute honour. Like even Clare County Council have asked me for a canvas of the Cliffs of Moher that will be handed over to the Italian ambassador. For me, it's just brilliant. The idea that going over to the Italian ambassador or sending the art over to Australia and then somebody from Australia sends a Google review back. That's brilliant, So it's the whole circle of, from start to finish and then getting the feedback from people. And a lot of the time it's repeat customers. So somebody might have got a painting of their dog, but now they want a painting of Mullaghmore. Completely different subjects, but that's what they want. So yeah, it's nice. And even a recent one I did of the card players in Quin, again capturing what somebody set up in Quin, which was a very nice social event. Again, that was, those kind of images to people mean something. It's the visual arts that it grasps people in different ways. People see pictures differently, like Mahon Forest that I have. I've got a red painting of Mahon and a blue painting of Mahon. And you can't tell somebody who likes the red to like the blue. It's just the way people view it. And they either go directly for the red or directly for the blue. And for me, you can't go out and find those people. Those people come and they're looking for something. They're looking for that image that'll finish their house. And within Quin Art Shop, we've the ability to make it bigger or smaller. And if you say, Helen, I've only an A4 size, but maybe another lady might say, I actually have a panoramic size, I want to go over the mantelpiece. We can do that because we make all the canvases in-house. Everything is done to measure. So it's very bespoke business. And from that point of view, it's for that person. And when you see it over their mantelpiece, it's actually lovely. Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
It is pretty unpredictable, as you say. You may sell a few works this week, maybe nothing next week, but the following month get a big commission. How do you deal with that unpredictability the uncertainty of that?
It's part of the business, to be honest. I can't get used to it. Like, I kind of go into panic mode. I go, what am I doing? Like, this is something wrong here, you know. I get really going, this is not working. I'm going to have to close everything, just sell everything off. And you're just kind of going, after all this, I've been so many years, and then it's finished. And then somebody walks in and it's just like black and white. It's like, a famine or a feast. It is hard to measure. Yeah, it is. It's a hard feeling when you don't know what's going to happen. And it's nice when that person does walk in, but sometimes, you're kind of going scratching your head. What have I done? Have I done something wrong? Like, look at all these paintings, they're not selling. But that's what I see from the business. And what other people see is, my God, Helen, you sold a piece. You know, so it's very different when you're in the business, and you're just, because it is a business. People look at it and go, you're painting, but it's not. It's more than just painting. It's a business, so therefore you have to make money at the end of the day.
Were you business minded though when you started this operation?
Yeah, I had a good business mind from the engineering background. So from that point of view, I was able to look at quantities and get items just in time. So from that aspect, it was very business-like. The part I was the weakest was on the marketing side, was selling. And actually, even now that I look back on it, I actually didn't know what my customer or who my customer was or what I was selling. I just was painting pictures and hoping somebody would buy it. So I never really, because I didn't plan and I had no great grand plan, I'm going to make paintings of blackbirds and that's all I'm going to make. I never knew if the blackbirds would ever sell. And I suppose that's the thing. If I was to do it again, I'd look at it slightly differently and I'd say, you know what, blackbirds don't sell. I should have just gone and did paintings of Quin Abbey only. It's better if you kind of take a step back sometimes. And I think applying for these funds and applying for supports makes you think of that, looking at the form and going, what is your business model? And even now, I actually don't know. I just know that I work with commissions and I work with corporates, and it works from that point of view. But still, there's always that element with art. You just don't know what is really going to sell. Is it going to be Kilkishen Cultural Centre or what? So the customers are so varied and so different on what they want. At the end of the day, I suppose the tourists still want the painting of the Cliffs of Moher. They still want the paintings of Pulnabrone. So that's actually the area from a customer point of view. And if I know what my customers are in that area, then I actually can have the background area ready, which is the cotton material and the inks and everything in that side prepared and ready to go. So there's a lot of thinking beforehand. What is the actual customer you're going to deal with? Who are the people you're going to sell this product to? So by me doing different styles and different subjects, it actually works with people, because people come in with an idea that they want the Quin Abbey, but they don't know what way they want it. And so therefore, because I've got watercolour and it's kind of soft, or the seascape is kind of hard, it's kind of more impasto, they get the feeling of what it is they're actually looking for. So it's more the customer now is dictating to me the way they want their picture, what size they want, what type of feeling, if it's oil or watercolour. So you're right, Pat, I have all these paintings, but that's not necessarily what the customer wants. They're just using that then to reflect what they want inside. So yeah, from that point of view, I think having that range of style is actually good for the customer, what they really want.
Is the business still evolving though? Is it still changing?
Oh, it's constantly changing, yeah. Even now, like I started off with more cotton prints, but the cotton prints, they come in amounts, so that's quite big for a customer to go back to America with. So now a lot of customers are asking, will you do a canvas print? I'll roll it up and I'll bring it back in, and then it's in a little tube. So I suppose my model is kind of slightly evolving depending on what the customer's asking me for. So that's actually why it's good to go and meet the customer a lot of times. A lot of times artists tend to just do an exhibition, so they present to you what they want you to buy. In my model, I'm kind of different. I'm listening to the customer, and the customer saying, Helen, it's actually the canvas. I want to be able to roll it up and bring it back onto my arm, or bring it back on the Ryanair flight in my carry-on. So I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm changing my product because of that. And again, you've got to go to a certain amount without getting totally burnt. Like, so I'm not going to change everything now, that you put it in a roll and you bring it home. Like, some people actually want that bigger picture to hang on their mantelpiece. And again, that's where the difference between an Irish customer comes to an international customer come. And even at that, even now, with the new tariffs and everything, it doesn't seem to be still a problem for the American customers. They still want the big picture. They still want it framed and sent to America. And so far, so good. Nobody has a problem so far. That's what I'm finding. It's really good. It's really positive. But I'm just saying some people want it differently, and I suppose that's what you've got to listen to, is what the customer wants at the end of the day.
Helen, after 15 years with Quin Art, have you a plan for the future?
No, zero plan, nothing, Pat. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I just go as it comes, I've got a couple of commissions which are brilliant. I have a lovely one actually. I'm looking forward to it. It's of a French cow and a Shetland cow, very large painting, and a couple of more seascapes, a couple of pets, and a couple of more landscapes. But yeah, I don't know what people want, what people are coming in and asking for. So yeah, I've no great plans. I think I want to go back and focus more on exhibitions. People want to see the art, so that's what my focus is now, try and find a space to exhibit in.
That was Helen Lowe of Quin Art, based in Quin, County Clare. We'll be back next week with another episode of Clare Women in Business.
This feature, Clare Women in Business, is funded by Comisiún na Mán with the television licence fee.